Hey everyone, this is Jerome Bettis from Detroit with your Spirit Lake Fantasy Football Review. This is a special episode in which we are going to recap the 2011 Spirit Lake Fantasy Football Owners Convention, also known as Boys Weekend, sponsored of course by Captain Morgan and WAOK, your choice for Asian Walk. Uh, I'll be focusing on the draft today. Once again, we've hired Panda Productions to do a comprehensive review of the entire weekend, but our goal here is to really go through the draft and the goods and the bads. So we're going to go through each team and give you 3 keys for each team throughout this year. We'll start off with Jayco, the creator of the KDI. If you look at his roster, you'll see it chock full of young RBs and old wide receivers. So we're going to see how that plays out. Also, he was the first reach of the draft, also known as the Rod, with LeGarrette Blount. And his key, for Jayco this year will be Felix Jones and Mark Ingram. If you get one of those guys to really step up and be a starter, week in, week out starter, he could be a contender. Number 2 is the Tribe. Arguably, they had the best keeper, getting Mendy in the 11th round, and he had to be happy with the first 2 picks with Roddy White and Megatron. The key this year will be his late pick of Big Ben, his only quarterback, so he will need some production from big old Big Ben. Davey, as you know, called in the draft. He obviously puts his phone in a blender when he calls in. We have found out that he uses a Bluetooth when he drafts, and we actually found this picture of him during the draft. A lot of deep RBs, but the key for Davey and all of Alabama will be the Rodgers-Jennings combo. AJ was very, very happy to have Charles fall into his lap at number 4. He'll have to deal with Todd Haley all year, but he is more than happy to take on that responsibility. And Ryan Grant, which at the time of the draft seemed like a great pick as a third RB. However, it came out recently that he would have been cut if he wouldn't have restructured his contract. So everyone stay tuned and see how that plays out. The key here will be another quarterback wide receiver combo, the young combo of Josh Freeman and Mike Williams. If these two can get on fire, AJ is a force to be reckoned with as well. The 5th team we're going to go over is Silky Johnson's team. They had an extra number 2 pick, which led to a great amount of depth, really at every position other than the tight end, kicker, and defense, which Silky, we found out, doesn't care a whole lot about. He is one of the few in the league to have the quarterback tight end hookup of Breeze and Graham. The key for his team, though, is going to be for one of his RBs to break out. He doesn't have one tried and true RB, so he needs one of them to really become one of the top 3, top 5 RBs in the league. Next is Hassel, our lovable racist comedian, took Vic number 1 overall, which could have been the biggest shocker of the draft. He has probably the youngest team in the league. Looking at his roster right now, other than Brandon Marshall and maybe Neckbeard, he really doesn't have a veteran among the bunch. And so that's really going to be his key. He has a lot of young guys with a lot of talent, but some of them got to show up and start actually producing in the NFL. He started Mojo and Turner. He had to be happy with that, getting them at 9 and 12 overall. And he's got the franchise. He loves Rivers, not like in a man on man like Brokeback kind of a way. But if Rivers were in town and he knew where he was, I think he'd actually go find him and just get him a drink and maybe they even do a shot of Yeg. The key for him is going to be his wide receivers. He had Debo, who scored a lot of touchdowns last year, not a lot of catches. Collie, who almost died, and a few other guys who got something to prove. So much like his receivers, E has something to prove out of his wide receivers. Dylan is your defending champ. He will, if you ask him, he will tell you about it as much as possible. The big question is CJ. CJ 2K, run from the cop speed. Right now he has run from the contract speed, and the Larry Fitzgerald $50 million signing bonus is not going to help him get into camp. Without CJ in camp, his team doesn't have a first round or a second round pick. And the key is going to be his potential at wide receiver. He's got Steve Johnson, Garcon, AJ Green, Jordy Nelson. These are guys who are supposed to break out at some point. Steve Johnson did last year, but he's only done it once. So we'll see where we go from here. Second to last is the Golden Bear. He's told me that he thinks he could wrestle a bear and be victorious. Shocking, not shocking at all. AP went #1. We were reported here first that they signed this contract over 2 months ago, despite the fact that it may not be kosher with league rules. He loves old wide receivers. Berrien, Donald Driver, the Ocho. These are the only guys in the league who are actually older than Brad, and that's why I'm assuming Brad actually still drafts him. The key, though, is going to be Jermichael Finley. He was the tight end. He was going to be the be-all, end-all of tight end last year, and then he blows out his knee. He could blow up, and if he does blow up, this Brad could actually contend, which he seems to do every year somehow, except for last year when he was the worst team in Spirit Lake history. And finally, we got Miller, the Sunshine Express, the American Gladiator Sunshine. His biggest question mark right now is Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning, who's known for his reliability, his consistency. Right now, we don't know if he's going to play in Week 1. We don't know if he's going to play in Week 6. So he isn't literally going to be a pain in the neck to Miller, but he is a pain in the neck because of Manning's literal pain in the neck. Yes. And Gore #10, he had to be happy about that. His key is going to be, he's got a lot of upside. He's got your Mike Tolberts, your Mike Bushes, your Jerome Harrisons, your San Antonio Holmes, your Jerome Simpsons, your Anthony Armstrongs. These are guys who may have not produced a lot previously, but they have a lot of upside. The question is, will they come through? Thanks again. This has been Jerome Bettis is from Detroit. Signing off with the Spirit Lake Review Show, sponsored by WAOK and Captain Morgan.